Hello, adventurer, and welcome to another PG-DND Aftershow, where we talk about stuff that we just did. As always, we are a safe for work, non-explicit Dungeons & Dragons channel, and we have a special treat for you today as we will be sharing our thoughts on Heroes of Theros Season 2, Episodes 6 through 12. Now, just a reminder, there will be spoilers in this after show. So if you haven't seen the last 6 episodes, or even the first 5 before that, please go back and give them a watch or a listen on YouTube or anywhere podcasts can be found. That way, you can be caught up and enjoy this after show as much as we are going. Now, before we dive into our discussions or little Q&A, we're going to have a quick recap by Connor.
Quick?
We are going to have a recap by Connor. We normally do these every 5 episodes, not every 7, but it kind of got away from us. So
it's a little chunky.
A little long.
All right. After arriving in Agonis, our heroes began to try to find a way out by walking along the river Tardix. Not much time passed before they encountered a massive undead guardian that seemed to be drawn to them. After defeating the guardian, they were met by a familiar face, that of Baxor. This former friend turned enemy asked the group to follow him, and they reluctantly agreed as he led them to one of the many massive arenas surrounded by equally massive chains running from the sky back down to the desolate landscape. It was here where they met yet another fallen enemy as they were brought into the presence of Care. Care offered to show them the way out if he had the chance to fight Callan in the arena. Asking for some time to think about it, Callan spoke with Baxor, who confessed that he was an agonist, hoping to be reunited with his old friend Callan. Callan asked Baxor for help, and Baxor told him of a wall that led out of the barren lands of Agonis. The group slipped away secretly and found their way to the wall Baxor mentioned.
Is it just me, or did any of you guys realize, like I just realized that Agonis is probably called that because of agony?
Yeah, I kind of noticed that one.
Yeah.
I was thinking anguish, but you know.
That blew my... Literally just figured, I was just like, Agonis? Huh. That kind of sounds like agony.
I think there's a correlation. Yeah.
Tyson, I think you're onto something. Evidently, Tyson is not writing the second season.
No.
A shocker to all.
All right. After arriving at the wall, Callan was curious about the chains and with the help of Alandros, flew up to investigate the underworld sky. As he got closer to what he assumed were clouds, Callan discovered they were actually wisping strands of gray hair. Callan reached out to touch them and was instantly transported into a vision of a weak and dying Klothys. The goddess asked what the Triton wished to see, and Callan requested sight of his friend Adelphos. Granting his request, Klothys showed Callan Elysia, the paradise and reward of those who lived honorable lives. Adelphos appeared happy and content. After the vision, Klothys revealed the biggest secret of the gods, which was that the gods needed the worship of mortals more than the mortals needed the gods. Sharing this secret, Klothys took her last breath, and Callan watched as a divine light appeared to leave her. Once the goddess died, the hair turned to stone as the massive chains began falling to the ground. On the ground, Alandros, Vasilis, and Thalassa watched as these chains began to fall. Thinking quickly, Thalassa tried to slow the chains with magic as they all attempted to run for their lives. Alandros then bravely used his magic to try to save Callan, as he also fell towards the earth. Just in the nick of time, they both escaped with their lives. After collecting themselves, the group fell into despair and wondered what to do next, as their quest to the underworld seemed doomed now that Klothys dead and Adelphos in paradise. Without answers, the group took a much-needed rest, and during the night, Callan had a dream of Theseus marching with an army at the foot of a great volcano. Callan then awoke to find a new sigil, like that of Krufix, engraved on his other hand. In the morning, the party discussed what this could possibly mean as they set out for leaving Agonis. After several days of travel, they finally reached the end of Agonis to what appeared to be the great seas of Nerino, the final destination of sailors lost at sea and those plagued by their own regrets. On the horizon, they recognized an approaching ship, and as they were boarded onto that same ship, the Obtainer, they were astonished to find it captained by none other than Theseus and Adelphos' father, Proteus Rhododendron. The former Acronian presumed the party had perished and was surprised to find them alive. Vasilis attempted to get answers from Proteus, but was instead confronted with troubling accusations. In the meantime, Callan cast Sending, asking Adelphos if he wanted to be rescued at all. The rogue-turned-cleric was thrilled to get a reply back from his fighter friend saying he did want their help and together they could save Theseus. Emboldened with a new resolve, our heroes set out to find a way to escape Nerino and make it to Elysia. They didn't make it far before they encountered the Hydra, which they had defeated in Akros. After a grueling fight which showcased the raw power and skill of Vasilis, our heroes slayed the Hydra, devised a means to follow the wall, hoping it will lead them through Nerino and on the path to find their friend and fulfill their destinies.
Sorry, there's a lot of run-on sentences in there.
That's all right.
Also, I kept on writing.
Connor gets to be exempt from answering any questions further.
Because he talks.
Because he talks. He had to talk way too much.
Dude,
well, it was pretty
like
much about
trying to
him.
read it. My eyes are really dry, and so there were certain times where I would have to like read a sentence ahead because I could tell my eyes were like starting to get really dry and like having to blink a bunch.
He's just like,
yeah, and there at the end,
this ability of foresight. He's looking into the future.
That's right.
I kept on having to write Callan, and so finally I threw in the rogue turned cleric.
I liked that. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, look at these cool, like, interesting descriptive words. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
I know.
Very
After you write
Yeah.
Agonis and Callan so many times, you just kind of get tired. You want to think of something else
Yeah.
to write. Oh man, these were
Videos,
crazy.
I mean,
oh no, oh no, it's gonna happen again.
yeah, these were
Vidius ... Actually,
wild
Callan.
episodes.
Yeah, a lot happened in these last 7 episodes. And so right out of the gate, we'll just start sort of where we all began. What were everyone's thoughts on Agonis?
I know Tyson's. He just learned the meaning of Agnes.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty agonizing being in
Full of
Agonis.
I was
Agony.
wondering why I was feeling that way.
Felt like I was in agony the whole time. It didn't make any sense.
No, I really enjoyed it. I definitely didn't think I was gonna be able to get out of fighting Care. I was fully prepared to sacrifice myself for everybody else.
Yeah, didn't we just like bail?
Yeah, pretty much.
Just do that Texas two-step in there and
Because we
got
were
out of
in
Dodge.
that suspiciously unsuspicious cube or whatever it is.
The suspiciously inconspicuous
That
cube.
one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that kind of opens it up to the last question in this sort of little grouping. But we'll ask it first. Do you think you made the right call in declining the fight? Like, what do you think the outcome of the fight would have been had you taken it?
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to throw my 10 cents in. I don't think it's going to turn out well for Baxor.
No.
That,
But then again, what kind of repercussions are even in Agonis? You know what I mean? Like, they don't die. Like, sure, his life might become really sucky. Like, maybe he has to fight a lot or something.
yeah,
But
he'll just live in agony for the
that's
rest
just
of his life.
Agonis,
I mean, he already is.
Yeah.
right?
No, I think that Care can do a lot to make his life more miserable than it is.
Probably.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Care did kind of reshape the structure of Agonas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like declining the fight and picking option C instead of A or B was the best move. And honestly, I wasn't like, I had no plans to even try to talk to Baxter. It was only because of you guys that I even was like, okay, I might as well give it a shot.
What did you think about seeing Baxter there?
It made sense, but it really hurt me when I found out why he was there. That was painful. I think that was that without a doubt, that was more painful than when I had to fight him and kill him.
Really?
Without a doubt. And I think it's because I knew, for one, it was the last time I was ever going to see him. And two, now I knew where he was going to be for eternity. Like, I know where he's going to be. I've been there. I saw it with my own eyes, and just knowing for the rest of my life that that's where he's going to be, and hopefully not where I'll end up, just hurt.
And also that he chose that thinking that that you might show up there.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because you just killed him. So it means like he forgave you.
Yeah.
Like immediately, right? Like he's like, oh yeah, it's fine. You did what you had to do. So he still wanted to be with you even after you had just killed him or unalived him. And
defeated.
Defeated him. And it kind of pulls a little bit of the weight away from you doing that, but puts so much more in why he's there. And I think that's why that hurts more, at least in my eyes, is like it kind of softens the blow of you defeating him, but triples the blow of why he chose what he did.
Absolutely. I feel like you perfectly summed that up. And made it more painful with having to bring in the fact that he forgave me. Because I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I know. Callan has a list of people that he wants to help. And I think that was the first one, like, that we've come across. The Tinkerer was one. What's the girl on the island?
Lydia.
I was gonna say Lily.
Was the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I have a few of them, and Baxter was the first one that, even though I wanted to help, I think Callan kind of knew deep down, this is one I'm not, like, I can't change it. So yeah.
Well, yeah, that's tough.
And it was the first one that wasn't just on the list, like because we ran across him, but we basically put him there, right? And so it's more personal rather than like, Lydia's been there for hundreds and hundreds of years, and the Tinkerer's been there for the same, and they all were there because of something that happened way before us. But it's like with Baxter, like, it's just more personal.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure.
Kind of in that same vein of putting people here, what do you think about running into Care?
It made me happy, but it also made me angry how well he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's thriving.
And
loving it.
I don't know if it was just a front. I feel like some of it has to be just kind of a front. But Yeah, it definitely irked me that he was...
He seems happy.
Yeah, he just could still portray being happy.
Being content.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even though I'm sure if given the opportunity to go back to the land of the living, I'm sure he would take it up without a thought.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I think he's definitely making the best of the afterworld.
Of a bad situation.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. It makes me wonder how much control people can have here. Because, like, Proteus, that's why it was bugging me so much that he was just, like, in misery. Because it's like, you can still do something. Baxter made a difference. Care changed the whole dynamic of Agonist.
Yeah, we had both Maddie, Alfred, and Penguin Love both talk about that and be like, you know, but I guess it kind of makes sense why he's down there because, you know, he's there to regret, but it's still just so annoying that he just was refusing to do anything about it. Even though we literally came up to him and was like, these are your regrets, here's a solution.
Yeah.
And then he was like, nope. But then Care, he's just like, I'm gonna change this to fit me.
We should have snitched on Care. We should have told someone.
Like someone in the underworld?
Yeah, like
I'm sure we'll run into
like the god of death or something. Be like, hey, just
Athreos, the guy's the
heads
god
up.
that you
Just-
snuck by
just
to
so
get
you
into the
know.
underworld.
You should know that there's a guy over there who's supposed to be in agony, but he's having a good old time.
He's having a good time.
He's like, all right,
He's
thanks,
just
I'll
like,
check
"Oh,
out. Wait
you're
a
not
second.
dead."
Well, like, he
Just
told me-
wanted
he
to
told me
say.
he-
These are
broke
not the
the
mortals
system.
you're looking for.
That's like a violent criminal just going up to a cop and be like, hey, dude,
That guy's
like-
jaywalking.
a known violent criminal to the police and be like, hey, man, just so you know, that dude over there just stole something. Just wanted to like put that out there.
Just doing my
Just
civic
want you to
duty
know,
here.
I'm on your team. All right.
The cop who almost arrested him the night before, but the guy got away. Is like, okay, wait, what? All right, I guess still in Agonus. Or what's everybody's thoughts on the Clothis encounter?
Yo, the Clothis encounter was nuts.
Dude, for real.
I didn't see any of that coming. That was, I mean, there was a lot of stuff I haven't seen coming, but the whole Clothis in the sky and Callan becoming like kind of like her champion, you know, deal, and like communicating with the Delphos, crazy stuff.
Dude, for real. The whole chains being her hair and all that stuff, that was cool.
The sky being her hair?
Yeah.
You thought was clouds?
Yeah. That was holding the chains up. That's what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. That was pure poetry.
Thank you, Tyson, for writing that in for me.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Sometimes I get
No
some
wonder
good
you were
ideas.
like, yeah, I'll cast fly on you. Absolutely.
Yeah, go up to the top.
Fly up there and
Go
check
on.
out the cool stuff that I
Go on.
wrote.
Go touch the hair.
Go touch it. I want to know what your future is.
Mm-hmm.
Were you surprised by her death? Was anyone surprised by her death?
100%.
Yeah, especially because I think the most shocking part about it all was that literally the reasons why we came down here were to stop her from dying, to like save her, and then to rescue Adelphos. And literally in 5 minutes, both of those things were just like taken away. And like it was just like it literally just hit me. I was just like, we have no purpose. We have no direction. We have nothing. That was everything.
It was
and it just was like all gone.
It was taken away, but then it was also more reactivated because of him casting speak or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got to actually get that message. And he's like, no, like, I want you to find me.
Which we'll talk
So
about
it gave
later.
us a purpose again because we were all starting to lose hope. We were like, why are we even here?
This is why we don't make plans.
The one time that we make plans.
The one time. It's... Yeah, peek behind the screen. The your meeting, Clothis, was supposed to happen way... But Connor's like, no, like, I'll touch the hair, like, great, you know?
I didn't know if I'd have another chance.
No, and it makes sense, and it's great. So, and I think in that moment, it was something that, yeah, I think felt right for the story. Even though, yes, it did take away your purpose for a minute, but it kind of put you in a perspective that was way different than we've had for the group of Theros for a while, which I liked a lot.
Yeah.
Even though it was a hopeless perspective, and that you're able to gain it back in a natural way, I thought was great.
Yeah.
It was honestly pretty short-lived. Like, we didn't, like, sure, we were hopeless for a short period of time, but it wasn't for very long. Like,
yeah, a couple episodes, a few days in game, but still.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that sort of weight hadn't been felt since Adelphos died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? So.
But you know what they say, when in Agonus.
that's what they say.
Because we know
What
what
happened?
it means now.
Boom.
What did you think about the secret that she revealed before she died?
Well, we had heard it before. We just didn't know 100% that that was the truth.
Now hearing it from a goddess, what are your thoughts on that?
I feel like
I-
because I
in
had heard
trouble.
it before, it didn't scare. It wasn't like a big deal to me. I was just like, oh, so it really is true. But at the same time, then she just died. So it was like, okay, thanks for telling us. What do we do now?
Yeah. I think for Callan, it makes me want to, in a weird way, it makes me want to fight for the gods more. I didn't know if learning that at first would, like, shake Callan into kind of his old thinking. But I think he feels so blessed by Crewfix that it just makes him want to work harder to help the gods.
Well, and the fact that you have, like, her emblem or whatever on you now, it, like, almost reassures you that we're gonna do something good with it, too. So I think that's another reason why the blow was kind of softened when we learned that information.
I'm curious about Alondros and Vasilis, whether that information changes their characters' perspectives of the gods or not.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Tyson, like, I was not surprised at all, you know, like, that's was very expected. But for Alondros, like, oh yeah, it kind of shook his world. Because he's always been very on the god side and on, you know, pushing for this and, oh, they are bigger than we are and all this stuff. So I think it kind of brought his perspective kind of closer to what Callan was saying, where, like, Alondros used to be, like, up here, like, oh, the gods are perfect, and it kind of brought him down more towards the middle, where it's like, you know what, the gods, maybe they're more like us than I thought, but what does that mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's still trying to figure out what that actually means, because it kind of was the opposite of everything that he believes.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I could definitely agree. I think Vasilis is absolutely in the same boat. Just considering his background and Alondros' background and like religion, just like, you know, the gods, like he was saying, are, you know, put up on a pedestal. You know, like we need the gods, like they are omnipotent. They are, you know what I mean? And to find out that, you know, like now they're vulnerable, it kind of puts a new perspective into what they are. I don't think it's changed everything about how Vasilis views the gods, but it definitely like puts some things into a different perspective, to see them in a different light, and then to also know that, you know, like the gods are in trouble. Like, yeah.
You think there's a way to bring her back?
I had not thought of that.
I do.
I did not think of that either.
I think that there's a way to bring the mantle back. I don't know if it's going to be her.
Yep.
But I think something will and can take her spot and her purpose.
Do you think that if Clothis, because we don't know if she's dead, what if she's just like mortal now? Like, what if she just lost
Yeah,
her
what happens
divinity?
to
Like,
gods
yeah.
when they die?
I don't know. Alan? Yeah, you're there.
Give us the play-by-play.
I don't know if Callan fully knows yet. I think and I haven't shared this with anyone in the group, but Callan has been having a lot of thoughts, because Clothis is gone, yet he has her symbol ingrained in his hand that he didn't choose, and he almost feels like he is like carrying her urn in a way, like kind of like carrying her essence in his hand. Not to say that he's gonna become her or take that mantle or anything like that, but it kind of just is feeling to him that he's the vessel. He's carrying her last whatever she had with him, which is I don't know. I think there's definitely a way, but I think it's going to be like how Tyson said. I think it's going to be something else. I don't think it's going to be her. I think she is gone.
And maybe you will, or Callan will have the ability to either bestow that on someone else or take it up himself or something, right?
Yeah.
Because I think you kind of nailed it on the head. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, which will be really interesting, because this is all meta knowledge. This isn't Callan. This is Connor. But it seems like, you know, in a lot of D&D settings and stuff, there are people who ascend to be gods or goddesses. And when they take that mantle from the other person, it's like they inherit something, and if the gods need us to believe in them, well, if nobody believes in something anymore, like nobody believes that the sun spins around the earth, that theory has been destroyed, and we know the truth now. And so it's almost like, I wonder if they just do become nothing. Like they don't have, their power comes from that. Where we have a mortal body and stuff, their power comes from that mantle. And when they give up that mantle or when they die, it's just like they pass it on and they're forgotten. They just become nothing. I don't know. I'm curious. I hope it leads somewhere really cool, but I also don't really want that power.
I can see that. I think the key to knowing like the answer to that question is the beginnings of the gods, which no one knows yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how do we know that they weren't mortal first and then ascended to godhood, and then of course they revert to being mortal? But I think the answer. I'm not saying that's what actually happened, but the answer to the question is in the beginnings of the gods.
Yep. Which
is Krufus is the oldest.
He is. He's like he's Papa.
Yeah, if anyone knows, it's him.
Yeah, it's got to be him, which is a really, I don't know. I'm very curious to see where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
We should probably just find some beggar on the street and pass it off.
Get him.
Could you imagine that job interview? Because you're like, I don't want to take it, but let's go find someone else that does.
How do you handle
anything? Yeah.
Just give it to one.
How would you handle a stressful situation?
Exactly.
Give me an example
Like,
of a time where you've
life.
shown leadership in the workplace.
What would you say your greatest weakness is?
I'm gonna need some references too.
Your greatest strength. Do you feel like you manage time wisely?
What exactly is Clothis the goddess of?
She is the.
She's the beast.
I'm gonna.
wrangler.
No, well, you answer it, Tyson. I'm gonna pull out the book so it's not just me making it up.
Okay. I'm pretty sure she's like the goddess of destiny
Oh yeah.
and
Hair.
Yes, and
hair.
Cosmetology.
Yeah.
Cosmetology. Gosh.
I'm the goddess of eyelash extensions.
The goddess of fate and cosmetology. Oh, so like the cosmos? No. Hair, darling. Hair.
She was the one who invented the TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's
Interesting.
very demure.
There's a little table.
Okay.
There's a little table that gives every god and what they do in Athros. It says God of blank. Clothis, God of destiny.
Is she neutral?
She is neutral.
Really?
True neutral. Just like Krufix.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Aww.
That's
You're
wild.
double neutral.
Wow.
Double
Who else
neutral.
can you double up on? Who else is true neutral?
Yeah, what
Just
other-
some more
what
gods.
There is one other god that is true neutral.
It's the storm guy.
Nope.
Thassa.
Oh, he's chaotic neutral.
No.
Thassa.
Thassa?
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Why you being
What
so
a
neutral?
If Callan and Thalassa like ever have a kid,
They'd be so neutral.
They'll be unstoppable.
kid's gonna be powerful
Yeah.
but balanced.
Afara. Do you know what Afara is?
Almost good enough to probably take on the mantle of, say, a god.
Ooh. But
Or at
then
least
I've
be
never
king of
seen
the
a
orphans.
All right.
King of
Quick,
the orphans.
I'm king of the orphans.
I have parents and I'm your leader.
I am not an orphan myself, but I will rule over you.
Because
Don't
my
worry, it
parents
will be
started
just
the
full.
orphanage.
Yes.
God
You're
of
not my
orphans. Quick quiz for Tyson and Zane, or should I say, Alondros and Vasilis. Afara is what? She is the god of what, and what's her alignment?
Ifara.
Is she the civilization?
She is the goddess
Isn't that
of.
who you worship?
Wait,
Mhm.
I'm blanking. Ifara. Okay, I was getting confused with someone else. Yeah, she's the goddess of civilization,
Culture?
and she is lawful good.
So I would consider this civilization. She's the god of the polis or the polis,
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
god of civilization, right? She is lawful neutral.
Oh, I guess that makes
Interesting.
sense.
Yep.
That makes sense. More than good.
And
I
then
wrote
what's
it.
her face is chaotic neutral because
Who?
she's the goddess of like
Nature.
nature.
Nylea?
Nylea. Yeah.
Nylea.
Nylea is neutral
they're, like-
good.
Opposites. Oh, she's good.
Neutral good.
Neutral good.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Iroas has to be lawful good.
Absolutely.
Iroas,
Oh, yeah.
Iroas is the god of what? And he is what?
I know
He's
this
the-
one.
So you're
God
guessing
of-
a lot of you're guessing
Victory?
lawful.
For honorable
Yeah.
combat?
Yeah,
No,
it is victory.
He is the god of victory. You got it.
Nice.
He is the god of victory, and he is good, but he is chaotic.
Really?
Wow.
Mhm.
Well,
Surprising,
because
but also not
makes
surprising.
Because
at the same
war
time.
is
Oh,
chaos.
Yeah. And then
There's
I'm pretty
only-
sure the only chaotic evil god is Mogus,
Correct.
Is
who is the
Correct.
god of
Wow.
like
Slaughter.
Good choice, Theseus.
Yep.
What a guy.
Well, let's see. Mogus is
You
the
got the
god of
thumbs up.
slaughter.
I love that I can give myself thumbs up and thumbs down whenever I want. The power.
Yeah.
If you're ever feeling down, you can always be like, "I'm doing okay, right, computer?" And it's like,
Yeah,
ding, and
I'm
you're like,
back in my Theseus era. The
Yeah.
power.
So Mogus is god of slaughter, and he is chaotic evil.
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 Okay.
Uncle boy.
That's really
That's
good.
good.
So let's not take it away from Callan so much, because let's talk about his vision.
Which one?
The one about
volcano
Theseus.
one.
Oh yeah.
I think it was real.
Yeah.
I
You think it was an actual vision? You don't think it was a dream?
Do you have visions often?
No, I don't think I ever have.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't think it is currently happening. I think that it is the gods. Because we all kind of know at this point, the gods are really rooting for us. Like, we have a list of gods and goddesses that are really like, all right, go get them. Like, we need you, and we're gonna tell you that without telling you that. So I think it's a vision of maybe what Mogus's plan is for Theseus. I think that Mogus has something to gain from going to that volcano, and that there's some kind of weapon or something, an
Yeah, 'cause
enchantment.
It's what's his face's lair.
Perforus, right?
Perforus,
I
yeah.
wanted to say
Oh, he's
Perforus.
going there for something.
Yeah.
Isn't Perforus the one that like builds stuff?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like the Hephaestus among
Mhm.
Yeah.
pharaohs.
He's
And he's
god
not
of
re-
the forge.
'Cause
He's
the
not
one
really
that
on any
makes
of the
stuff.
gods' bad side. So like he
Mm.
might not shy away from someone being like, "Hey, I work for Mogus." He might be like, "All right."
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
chaotic,
like-
he's chaotic neutral.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so he
might,
could
Theseus might be going to turn him to the cause,
yeah.
Maybe.
trying to round up other gods.
I think he.
Well, it depends.
How did the vision end? Remind me.
It just ended with him walking up to a
Volcano.
doorway of the volcano, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To the entrance of the
Of
the
his
lair.
Yeah, because I could totally see him just being like, especially being chaotic. Like, he doesn't really care if it's good or bad. He just wants to kind of sow some chaos. And so it's like, oh, you worship Mojus? Yeah, it's all right, whatever. Here's this
Here's
weapon.
this cool weapon. He already has.
You know what I
cool
find
weapons.
interesting as we've been talking about the gods is how many of them are like good or evil, but also neutral.
Yeah.
Like all of them, there's not any of them, or I'm sure there are some, but like none of them are like lawful good. Like, you know, like
There's
good,
one.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heliod.
Iliad.
Yep.
See, like, yeah. So like, but like they all have like a little bit of just kind of like neutrality in them, where it's kind of, and I think that's where like a little bit of the what's the word I'm looking for here? Selfishness maybe comes in. You know, where they just kind of do what they want for themselves a little bit.
Yeah. Like, especially if you look at like real world stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like this is all obviously based off of Greek and Roman deities, and so it's like none of them were truly one thing. I mean, there are plenty of stories where Zeus is the bad guy, and there's plenty of stories where Hades isn't really that bad. And, you know, sometimes Ares can go side to side. You know, it's like, I mean, there's so many stories of the gods just like being more neutral than stuck in their ways, right?
They just kind of fill whatever shoes they want.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
whatever they need, they can kind of adapt to.
Learning that Heliod is lawful good makes me feel a little bit more like, why did we, like, of course he was gonna look at Theseus and be like, yeah, he's a lost cause. Like, he's dabbling in evil. Like, he has to go. He can't be part of it, you know?
Yeah, that's very
Right.
true.
It sounds like there's like no leeway.
Yeah.
There's no forgiveness in him. Like, it's just like black and white.
Exactly. Very black and white. It's like, yeah, no wonder he was like, I'm not going to talk to Theseus. I'm
That
not
does
going to
make
blah, blah,
way
blah,
more
you know?
sense.
Right. I think now that I've like said it and put it into words, like black and white makes so much sense because he didn't show you all the good things that Theseus did. He only showed you the bad.
Yep.
You know, he didn't show you the saving Adelphos, you know, and attempting to save him, and it was just all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
The two good things Theseus did, he didn't show.
Okay, I couldn't.
He
come up
showed
with
all the other
ones.
bad things. I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
I was just about to say that, like, yes, he only showed the good and the bad, and he may have led us a little bit, but he still was right.
Yeah.
You know, like, he still called it. He still said, yeah, Theseus is going to betray you, you know, and it's like, how much influence did he have on us? It's like, I don't know, but it's like, he still was right.
He still was, hindsight, yes, with how things went, but it felt like in the moment for Callan, it felt like it was already decided. And I don't think that it was already decided. I think it was us buying into what he was saying that then, I don't know, made us less not even understanding, but just it kind of put that black, at least for Callan, it kind of put that black and white.
Almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It was what, Zane?
It was absolutely less decided before Heliod said anything. It was less decided because I still had a choice, you know, like I had to make it for Theseus, and then after Heliod had talked to you guys, and then there was just this big like moment at the party where you guys kind of ganged up on him a little bit. He felt like he had lost his friends, and then what else was there for him to fight for at that point?
Yeah.
Well, you did
So
try to throw him over a balcony too, but yeah.
Here's my argument.
He reacted for sure. Yeah.
I think that the deciding factor happened before. I think that it happened when Theseus chose to he was tempted by going to the cult, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was on temptation as he's walking down the stairs and going there. But when he decided that he was going to side with them, even if he didn't realize that's what he would decide, but he basically told them, like, yeah, I'll help you out. That was when his foot was in the door.
Yeah, I could say that.
Whether we helped push him all the way through the door, I think his foot was already there.
Yeah.
And I think
We
that was the
definitely
factor. I
helped
think
him.
But here's the
even
thing,
if
though.
he had
Just because
all
someone's foot in
the-
the door doesn't mean that they're going to walk out.
yeah,
Right.
but
that's
it was
the only
much
thing. I
easier
can't
to
lie
walk
and say that-
through.
Yeah, I can't say that he wasn't dabbling in things he wasn't supposed to. But like I said, like just because, someone is on the path doesn't mean that they can't get off it.
Yeah.
Well, we 100% supported you on your path, obviously.
Yeah.
Go, 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 go.
We're like, yeah,
Oh,
wait, this could be bad. It's okay. We'll just keep doing it.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well,
We'll worry
and
about it once he gets the
kinda
last
feels-
piece.
but it kind of feels like a self-fulfilling prophecy almost, as far as Heliod goes, right? Which is what Connor was saying, which is Heliod proposed this idea, and I agree with Zane. Like, I don't think it was set in stone yet, because Zane did always have in the matter as the one controlling Theseus. But it seems like, the party took a almost felt like self.
But freaking also learning about what Proteus did.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Which, did that come up?
yeah.
Like, in character? I mean, like, has Vasilis told Callan, Thalassa, and Alondros?
About what?
He didn't. No, wait.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
think
think
any
he
of the
has.
party members
I think
know.
we do.
Because Proteus said something
Nope.
about your part in it, and so we asked you,
Yeah.
like, hey, what part did you play in Theseus? But we don't know that Proteus did that to Theseus.
Yeah. Or honestly, I don't think the group even knows that Proteus.
Was he even talking to you, Vasilis, about it? Or was he talking to somebody else?
What do you keep saying? What is it? I'm confused.
Sorry. There's two different ends.
Yeah.
I think we're talking about the setup for Theseus.
Yeah.
As
Set
far
that
as, like-
set up for Theseus. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
what I'm
also
talking
think that the group doesn't know. I don't know if I can say this word or not. The group doesn't know about the harshness of upbringing. Like, the audience and you as players, I don't think like Theseus has ever been like, hey, yeah, my dad made me cut out my eye train and starved me until, like, hey, my dad like was horrible to me.
Yeah.
No, the
You
party
know.
absolutely doesn't know that.
Yeah,
Which
we
I
didn't know
forget
that.
that you guys were there.
Yeah.
But and honestly, I don't. I mean, if you guys keep like chatting with Vasilis about the past and things, which I hope you do. Like, I want to talk. I want to talk about it. Vasilis wants to talk about it. You
What?
know.
You
What?
finally created a character that we can talk about your past. Like, of course we're gonna want to talk to you about your past. Like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
Do it.
Yeah, if we didn't have to
Man.
fight a stupid
Yeah.
Hydra, we would have talked to
For
you more.
real.
Yeah.
Honestly, like,
Now
it was
I'm the
even.
bad
I
guy.
wish I would have talked more with given more information whenever I was talking to Proteus. There was a few things that I wish I would have elaborated on, but that's just my problem as being a D&D player. I'm not very good at giving everything.
You can still elaborate on it. You can just say, when I was talking to Proteus, I wish this would have come up, blah, 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 blah.
Well, also, I mean, you guys will be on the ship for a while. It's not like
Yeah.
you can't talk to Proteus again.
Yeah.
And he seemed
True.
pretty willing to talk about what had happened
Very
as
true.
opposed to what he could do now to change things. So, still stuck in the past, seems like.
Ah, so much good
Wow.
role
He's such a
playing that's gonna
bum.
come up. He is such a
I was just thinking
bum.
the same thing.
I already didn't like him, and
Yeah.
then after learning that, I was like, oh, you are the worst.
Dude, for real.
After
The
The
learning.
setup, that was
Just
like,
what he
Everything,
did, what he
like,
did
yeah.
to Adelphos and abandoning him and then treating his Theseus just like crap and just being such a jerk to him. And
the setup
He's a piece
was
of work.
like probably just as shocking as Colossus dying for me. I was like, what the crap did you just say? Like, that was a bombshell.
Just setting up the sun.
Proteus was one. Proteus is one of my favorite characters I have ever made.
He's a good one.
Yeah.
Just because he is so
He's a good sucky guy.
He's such a
unlikable.
Yep, and that makes him such a good character.
Yep.
It's been I've had an absolute blast talking with Jefferson and coming and like talking about Proteus and
Yeah, it was combined effort. Sorry, me and Zane have created. But,
AKA Tyson.
AKA Tyson, because Tyson wrote it.
All right, here's your scripts. This is what you're gonna do.
Wow, this is good. This is gold. I'm like circling things.
You
and
can take all the
highlighting
credit.
He's like, because we know what
This is the game that we're playing.
Yes, sir. Oh, were you all?
Wait, you cut out.
Wait, you cut out.
What do you think about Narano?
I think that it sounds an awful lot like Mariner,
Oh,
which is why we're on boats.
Okay, I can see it.
I feel like
I can't wait to break every location in the underworld down and see what it sounds like.
How Narano sounds like you never know where you're going.
Oh.
Yeah.
oh my god.
Never know? Maybe that's what they did. They took because it's the two aspects, right? It's and so they were like, what can we take that sounds like a sea, like the ocean? What's something we can take that sounds like you're lost? They're like, well, what if we take Mariner and we keep the vowels, but we replace it with everything that sounds like never know? And they came up with Narano.
The creator of Narano right now is like, yes, Heidi, get in here. You gotta see this. Somebody figured it out.
The Easter egg.
It's been 6 years. They did it.
4 years. It dropped during COVID.
Oh, okay.
Which is why no one
Feels
knows
like
about it.
Narano,
Yeah.
Some guy's computer.
it feels,
Solved it.
especially when we first got there, it felt perfect for where the party was at. Just hopeless. It was like, how
You never
what
know.
are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to get through this? And why are we even here? And it was just so, it's so
You felt
perfect.
lost.
Our one source
Yes.
of direction is now covered.
Yep.
Like, there's nothing. It's, yeah.
And are we even moving in that direction for a reason? Are we even trying to find it for a reason? Like, you never know.
You never know.
Never know.
Fair enough.
Never know. That's great.
Are we going in the right direction? You never know.
Never know. Oh, that will.
If you don't have a map, never know.
You never.
Hey, that is
Did
one
you just
cool
fight a
thing.
Hydra? Yeah, I hear you. Never know what you're gonna get.
The underworld is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you
You
get.
never know.
Never know what you're gonna get.
Okay, but it is really cool that I did take lessons on mapping, and now it's coming
Yeah.
in handy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I agree.
Which
Never knew when that was gonna come out. So.
Why did you learn
That's like-
calligraphy? You never know. It'll come in handy.
You never know when it's going to come in.
never knew is the New Mexico to Mexico.
Never knew.
There's never know and never knew.
Wow, that's something I never knew.
Oh, my cheeks hurt.
Oh.
It was crazy to like see the obtainer again.
Yeah. Was
That
there
was
anybody
cool.
surprised to see that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was very shocked to see Proteus there.
100%.
100%.
Zane, you're like,
I almost
wasn't.
thought that like Jeff was really gonna throw like a crazy curveball with Proteus, and we were gonna find him in Elysia. Just because it was unexpected. You know what I mean? Like we don't like him so much. Yeah.
As the last second.
And I think for you it was probably that way because you knew who Proteus was way more than any of us did. Where for me, I was like, oh, he was probably, he wasn't a great guy, but he was probably pretty honorable in life. And then once we saw him, it was like, oh yeah, no. Yeah, this is perfect for you.
Yeah, no, this place is great for him. Perfect. And you know how perfect it is? Is because of the amount of development that he has been through. You know what I mean? Like, the amount of, progress his character has made, like, accepting these things that he's done, and how he's like, yeah, I deserve this. You know what I mean? And it's made it so difficult for me to, like, try to tear into him at all. Every time Vasilis tried to, take a piece out of him, he was just like, yeah, he's like, totally deserved it. And then it was just made me, it's just so different from how he used to be, usually, like, if Theseus would have brought something up, or Vasilis, like, before he was dead, he would have come back with some kind of retort of some kind, to turn the tables, to make it look like, oh, I'm not that bad, or to serve whatever purpose he decided.
It's growth, and yet it's not. It's like he's stuck.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating.
It's growth, but I think the problem is, like, whenever you're in Narano or in the underworld and you're dead, what's the point of the growth?
Is it just acceptance?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Narano is the location of people plagued by their own, and so there's a level of, like, because it's for sailors lost Marin, and you never know, I guess, but it's for sailors, and for people plagued by their own regret. So, placed himself there as well. Or acknowledging that the things that he did, at least regretting what he did. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which almost makes him even worse because, like, with Care, like, he knew he was evil and he was just like, yeah, I'm evil. What are you going to do about it? But, like, with Proteus, like, he was evil, but he knew that he was in the wrong.
Yeah.
Like, he was doing these terrible things, but he knew that was not good, and he still did them.
Well, and he was also just so, like, once we learned about, like, where Adelphos actually came from and stuff, he had so much hurt and pain behind all of that, and that was what made him keep having the bad choices and treating Theseus the way he did, which is so sad and, like, relatable at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you guys really think that we can save Theseus? You don't?
No, I don't. I think that we're going to try, but I think looking at my Spark notes that I have, there are two outcomes that I foresee.
Okay.
You haven't decided yet. I haven't received these yet either, so I'm really excited to hear that.
Yeah,
Jefferson, write this down.
So this is kind of what I'm thinking. So he's either going to, one, realize that he did something bad.
Hold on. One. Realize that he did something bad. Okay.
And then he will do some sort of a self-sacrifice to stop something. Or he's going to fully commit, and we're just going to end up having to end him in some way.
Yeah.
I think
don't think that there's an outcome where he survives and is changed. So we can save him, but I don't think that he will live.
Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I could see there being a path where he is alive, but also not changed. Instead of, killing him, which honestly, I'll be totally transparent with you, Vasilis is totally going to want to go for. Like, instead of killing him, maybe, like, finding some way to trap him in some kind of divine prison of some kind.
I just don't know if the gods would allow it, you know? I think if we don't do it, there's going to be something that happens that is going to do it. Like a building caves in on him or something. Like, I just don't see an outcome where he lives.
What if, I'm not saying he's going to live in this scenario, but what if saving Theseus involves reuniting Iroas and Mogus into the one god that they used to be?
I mean, that was one of the original theories that we had back in the day.
And
so that
there's a lot of myth about it. And the fact that
Theseus
and Adelphos were brothers, I don't know. That's
so
just
bringing Adelphos back.
Like, if that
he would have an impact on him in the way of they form this new
war brother.
Yeah.
War brother. That's interesting. Counter question. Alandros and Thalassa and Callan. We've already heard from. Do you think you have it in you to end
I said it before that Alandros would end Theseus. However, I think when push comes to shove, he will always go in some sort of way that gives him an opportunity to choose. So I don't think that it would be like... I think it would probably start out as anger, and then it would kind of slowly pull away, and then he would be like, wait a sec, this isn't me. Like, here's your choice. Here's your option. You choose. And then if he chose poorly, then it could end in Alandros ending him. But I don't know if he has it in him to do it just in like cold blood. Even if he says that he would.
What about you?
Yeah. I think it would be very hard to do, but I think that if it was best for everyone, I would be able to do it, but it wouldn't be easy at all. Like, I would want him to choose a different option for himself as well, but we've already helped him so much with choosing the bad options that I think we all realized it, and we're all kind of fed up with it. And if it ruins the whole everybody existence of life, then yeah, I could probably do it. I would still feel bad. I would, like, essentially, if it was somebody who we could bury, I would still go visit his grave and, like, talk to him, kind of a thing.
I don't know. I think when everything first happened, without a doubt, Callan would have been more than happy to kill Theseus. The longer that I have to think about it, and I feel like especially when we learn more about his upbringing and his childhood, I think it's gonna make Callan's empathy for Theseus grow and grow. because although, like, yes, he did choose this, and so he's gonna have to suffer the consequences, whatever that will be. And if it came to Theseus versus anybody else in the party, Callan's choosing the party because Theseus made his choice. But at the same time, he has a lot of empathy for Theseus, and wasn't as hopeful until he heard Adelphos say, we can save Theseus. And Callan's kind of just in this place of like, I'm gonna choose to believe you. I don't know how that's possible, but I really hope. I hope they can be, even if it's like how Tyson said, you know, I don't think he'll live through it, but hopefully there can be a change, like a Darth Vader type ending to Theseus, where he, I don't know, doesn't have to end up in Agonus. But we'll see.
I think that you said something that I kind of wanted to just emphasize a little bit. I think that the conversation that you had with Adelphos really changes a lot of the views that I had before. I think that was such a big turning point that now, whereas maybe even, you know, a couple episodes ago I would have said, oh yeah, he'd for sure, you know, do it. But I think that conversation you had with Adelphos, where it's like Adelphos kind of forgives him and still sees the good in him, I think it really had a big impact on Alondros, as well as my own views on the situation.
Yeah.
Was anybody surprised at hearing back from Adelphos?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I liked that it was the actual Adelphos.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
big surprise about it.
That was the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, I don't know if I was so much surprised as I was relieved with his answer. Not even just about Theseus, but that even if we don't get him back, just that he's happy. Just to hear that he's happy and enjoying life, it was like, of any of us, you deserve that. Like, because he's just always just been very chipper and very happy and stuck to what he believed in, even when the rest of us were like, I don't know, we'll kind of help Theseus. He's like, no, I'm not going in that freaking arena to help Theseus get a cursed blade. I'm not doing it. And the rest of us were like,
he was the
we'll help
only
him
one that
because
sat out.
we don't want him to die, and you know. So I think I was more happy and just relieved with like, oh, even if this doesn't work out, like, at least he's happy.
Anyone else?
I really liked it. I thought that it was a really cool moment that honestly was like something that I didn't even think about. So I'm really glad that Connor, you kind of had that thought. I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I was not expecting it as a DM, and when you're like, I cast sending, I was like, sweet, yeah. I mean, why not? You're in the same
like
plane.
every time that I'm sitting there and I'm holding my phone and I'm just staring at it and reading, I'm literally always just sitting there just going through my spells over and over, even though I've like looked at them a million times, and for whatever reason I never looked at that, and like until I read it, and it was like, it can go across planes and it doesn't matter where they are and this and that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect.
And
Why
that's
we haven't
honestly
thought of it before is mind-boggling.
Because it just made it better. Because if we would have done it before, it wouldn't have made the like
Impact.
Yeah, it wouldn't have had such a good impact, especially when we were so hopeless.
I came at the perfect time.
Oh yeah.
It was almost as if, not to compare, I don't know, it was almost as if Callan, like, asking for help from the gods, almost, you know, but instead he wanted to hear, right? No, as good or better than an answer from the gods in that moment, you know.
I mean, we see
And-
gods all the time. We don't see him all the time.
It's because I have
Yeah,
the
he
power
did.
of Crufix and Clothis on my side.
True neutrals.
I was
Wait.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Every time you clap, it's just like this massive energy field.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because Clothis could only show you that he was happy. She never gave you the ability to talk to him, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of had to do that yourself, which I guess shows like the limitations of even what the gods can do. Whereas like you were the one who had the ability to actually talk to him,
Yeah.
whereas Clothis was like, yeah, here's this vision.
Yeah. They're
I
flawed
guess
just
you
like
didn't
us.
technically even ask
Yeah.
to talk to him at that time either, though. So
That's true.
Yeah.
What did everybody think about the fight with the Hydra?
Oh my gosh, that was
dude, we all
Ooh.
almost died
Brutal.
for real.
Oh,
That one was scary.
Tyson, did Landros even take damage?
Oh my
No.
gosh.
Literally, all of us were almost dead.
I
remember-
took
Right?
I took 1 damage looking at finding the poker chip.
Yeah, but that wasn't
Okay.
the Hydra fight.
I love it.
I use a lot of spell slots. I'm more concerned about my spell slots than I am my HP.
Final last
That
words.
is the most Alondros answer ever. Ever.
At the end of an encounter, everyone is so bloodied and so tired and like so ready to rest because they're near death. And Alondros is like, "That was
spell
close,
slots.
guys. That was close." And they're like, "Did you take damage?" That's not what I mean. I almost used up all my magic. Like, could you imagine what? And if I could not use magic,
You guys would have been screwed.
For sure, though.
No, but that's like true because like when we look back to like even just the last encounter that we had, well, because it was multiple like encounters
Mhm.
that we did getting out of oh my gosh
Agonos.
Phaenixes?
yeah, Agonos.
Oh, yeah.
And my HP was actually looking fine. It was hindered, but I was at like, you know, maybe 40% or whatever. But it was my spell slots. I had like 3 spell slots left, and that's what I was like worried about. So it's like it really is a thing. Like that's what Alondros sweats. That's what I sweat too.
yeah.
I think that's
Playing
the
him.
lowest my HP has gotten this entire campaign.
Really?
Yeah. Me too.
Wow.
Like, I was down to like 11 or something like that.
Yeah, and then she healed herself and then took
Yeah.
all that damage the next turn, and she was right back, or lower, I think, even.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good to know. I will
Yeah.
have to write more fights like that.
That
I'm
was
glad you guys were
That was a
sweating.
tough
Yeah.
fight.
And honestly, like every single person did stuff that if it did not happen would have been detrimental. I mean, literally every single one of us pulled off something where I was like, if that didn't
Not every
happen, like-
single one of us. Because my first
didn't?
attack did not work at all.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you just
Yeah.
saved.
But
You
it-
just
it-
rolled.
yeah, it was just the dice.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like
he
that
was
would have
rolling
been
hot,
really,
too.
really good.
There's a lot of factors. But
Yeah.
Vasilis, I feel like this was the first time we really saw Vasilis shine. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
this is the first time we really saw him in his element. Like, I'm not saying that he hasn't helped to this point, but like
We
over
haven't
half
had
the
like
damage.
intense combat.
Yeah, that the Hydra took, like over half the damage that the Hydra took was
Mhm.
from Vasilis alone.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
like most of that happened when he was literally just fighting him by himself.
Yep.
Which is where I mean, when you just look at character build and stuff, that's where the barbarian shines.
Yeah.
You know, the barbarian does great being in the middle of the fight, raging,
Yep.
And just like rolling a bunch of dice and soaking up a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know,
Which is why I'm so excited. I don't think we've talked about this on the on the show. We've talked about it with each other when we've kind of been strategizing plans and stuff. We came up with this one strategy that I'm super stoked about called 3 minutes of playtime. But I won't tell you what it is.
Which is what?
They're gonna have to find out.
Yeah.
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 Is it when one of the casters casts Force Cage around Vasilis and an enemy, and then Vasilis rages, attacks recklessly, but uses the divine power of Iroas for 10 minutes, so he can't have advantage on him?
Mm-hmm. And Thalassa just runs around the outside of the ring to give him all her auras.
Yeah, within 10 feet.
And Alondros and Callan just sit there and pump healing spells into him, and Alondros will just pump buffs into him.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. It'll be so much fun.
That's exciting. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We'll
3 minutes of playtime.
I have a random question, which none of us will know until we keep playing, right? But do you guys think I'm going to be able to cast that same spell again, whereas it's always not sunsetting? Because my spells reform at dusk, and it's permanently stuck in that loop right now. So I don't know if I can recast the, what was it, manipulate beasts or whatever?
Dominate monster.
Because
it comes from the Biden.
Because it comes from my
Yeah.
Biden.
And it specifically says that it resets at dusk.
And it's currently always dusk.
So-
just before.
And this is me. I'm gonna step out of the ring of player here, and it depends on Jefferson's reading of the rules,
Right, obviously.
because you could read it as literal, or you could read it as what it means, right?
Because
Because
once a day,
which means
in-game.
once a day, yeah. But it's interesting because it could bring an interesting aspect reading it literally.
Yep.
But it could also be kind of a hindrance to you not giving you multiple. So it's like there's so many aspects that kind of go into it.
Right?
And I know what I would rule it as.
Which
But
is what?
I'm not the DM, so it doesn't matter what I would rule it as.
And that's why it was so hard for me, because he was like, do it, just do it, just do it. And I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can only ever do this once, and maybe we need to save it for something crazier.
Well, it's always perpetually dusk or sunset here in Narano and in Agonist. That doesn't mean the whole underworld.
Oh, it's true.
That's true.
Because technically Connor has seen the whole underworld. Sorry, Callan.
Oh.
That's
And
true.
it was sunny.
Yeah.
It was sunny
was.
in Elysia. Which is why
Huh.
I, as the DM, am
Pretty
okay
sure we
ruling
read it in
the
Elysia.
literal rules.
The
Right.
literal reading.
Because the hindrance isn't like, oh, you can't cast it. It's like, okay, you've made it through Agonist and Narano until this point without using Narano. It didn't work, but you're not going to be in Narano forever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
And honestly, what else are we going to use it on? I mean, I know there's other
Yeah.
monsters down here, but
Well, it doesn't
So-
even matter
it's
anyway,
worth it
because I
to
rolled
Zane, there's a
sucky.
chance.
So
No,
here's
no,
an
the
interesting
Hydra roll,
question.
wow.
Spellcaster.
I have some abilities that say at dawn. Does that mean I can just perpetually use them always?
Right now.
Yeah.
Well, because in Narano it's dawn
yeah.
in the morning. I don't know. Yeah, I guess
I
you
actually
can
don't
find
even
out.
know if I do have any that say
How
that,
funny.
but there are some that do.
He's like, bam, bam, bam.
I know, just use it. Boom, 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 boom. These like
He's
crazy
like, I don't even
things.
gotta rage. I just be slinging.
Yeah.
Oh, what does everybody think about the conversation between Vasilis and Proteus?
Dude, I want to know more. My character actually wants to know anything, but I want to know more.
Yeah. I don't.
the setup thing is nuts. Like, that was the biggest bomb that was so nonchalantly placed in there.
Well, and if you listen closely, Proteus didn't just say it was
I know he's
Proteus and Vasilis' dad. Proteus said it was all three of them
yeah.
that set Theseus up.
So what is Vasilis hiding?
Yep.
Zane loves to
You
hide
said you were
things.
so
What is
open.
it?
Me? And my grin that I've had since we started talking about this subject that I've been trying to hide. Yeah, I was staring at you the whole time.
I built a character
Zane's
with you,
like-
Zane. I know how you go about it. I know your tricks.
Thank you for being so
So,
dumb. I don't know. I'm very curious. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how he could have. I don't know what he did.
And was it knowing? I think that's the thing. Like, did he know the overall outcome? Or was it like they told him the information that would push him along?
Yeah.
I also
Good
wonder
question.
if Vasilis hasn't told us about that, because he said he's a pretty open book as long as we ask, right? But I wonder if Vasilis feels like immense remorse over that, and that's why he hasn't said it.
Yeah.
I would say yeah.
I part of me has the feeling that Vasilis was not given the full picture by Proteus and Vasilis' dad, and that he was fed a, I don't know.
Like a false truth.
Yeah, a false truth of how Theseus was or something. I don't know. I just don't think. And maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're being duped again, and Vasilis is actually super evil. Not hashtag not evil. Hashtag super evil.
Hashtag
Definitely.
He's the actual BBEG.
Mhm.
Hashtag suspiciously inconspicuously evil.
Yep.
I mean, we'll never know.
Never
There,
know.
no.
You never know what you never knew.
All this is getting me in some agony over all these unknowns.
Oh man.
I am curious to see, because I'm assuming next episode we're gonna have some really good conversations with Vasilis, and there's gonna be a lot of good role playing, and I think that conversation will be very telling of, I don't know, just whether he means well.
Gotta be on my best behavior.
Yeah, you better come with your best role playing,
It's an-
Because it's going to get deep.
Okay.
it's gonna get deep.
We got a long time sitting on this boat.
Yep, we're gonna role play all week and a half of it. In
Minute
real
by
time.
minute.
In real time.
Yep.
Oh
We
yeah.
are going to
Like,
either
that
record
was-
ourselves sleeping. So
You
get
said
ready,
that so
folks.
convincingly.
Sleepy.
Sleeping.
It's going to happen. I already got the thumbnail and everything made. Like,
Nice.
You wanted a realistic, story-driven campaign? Well, now you're gonna get it for the
Here it
first
is.
time in
Sleepy.
D&D
hours of
podcast
listening.
history.
the
Real time
podcast- the
D&D.
podcast is just silent for 8 hours.
But wait, there's one person on watch.
Oh yeah, that's
so
true.
One person has to wake up, and we're like doing it through. Hey, Zane, it's your turn.
You just
Hey,
hear like,
Vasilis, wake up.
Yeah.
you just
Hey,
hear like her
Vasilis.
breathing,
He's like,
a
bro,
couple
I'm
of lip
at
smacks
work.
here and there.
Every time we eat food, it's just slurping sounds as we're all just eating soup
Crunching and
over
slurping.
Discord.
There's the filmed of an actual argument. Work.
Yes.
Yeah, we're all gonna
Real,
take a
real.
week of work off, and
Oh, that's even better. And be on a
and-
boat together.
yeah.
I'm on a boat. And
On a boat.
Yeah, we'll rent a boat.
My dad
And
has a
Will.
boat. I got one. Let's do this.
Is it big enough for all
Is
of us?
it?
Yeah.
Is it a big Greek style authentic boat?
No, but we have green screens.
We'll paint the boat green.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be in the water. We can just green screen water in there.
Some guy just rolls past on his boat behind us, and we're all dressed up in character. Freaking weirdos.
I'm
Just
just
out there
in
fishing.
Yeah.
I'm in like the
Looking at it,
crow's
like-
nest, like shouting down, like what's happening.
Because we have a crow's nest now. No, you're just sitting on top of the
mast.
Shade cover.
shade cover,
Yeah.
the rack, holding all the
I'm like,
boards.
You
I'm
just
like,
got
all
the.
right.
You're just our boom man. We don't even need you. Like we'll just DM whatever's going on around us. Like you just
Yeah.
hold the mic for us.
there's a monster, watch out.
It'll be perfect.
Oh
It'll
man.
be great.
Well, last question to round this out.
Oh.
Has the underworld been what you expected?
Guess we'll never know.
It was exactly as I foreseen.
Really?
Well, you wrote it, so. Just
Is that really your answer, though?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's actually been like I had no idea what to expect. I was like not really knowing. I mean, literally we jumped in a boat at random and it plopped us out at like the worst place we could have gone. Like there was no planning, there was no expectations. Like it's
Nobody
been
gave
crazy.
me a chance to plan anything, okay?
Did it go left to right, worst to best?
Or
I will
was
never-
it just whatever boat we got on, it would have put us out?
I will
No, no,
never
no.
tell.
No, you kind of
We'll
did
never
already.
know.
We'll never
Because-
know.
No, he kind of did tell us because he was like, and he kept like putting little
The
feelers out
lines
there. Like,
were
no. He was like, do you look at the people in the lines? Like
Yeah.
he kept saying
Yeah.
that, and I was like, no, not really. You know what I mean? But had I thought, maybe he's pointing something out, then I would have actually looked at the people going on the freaking boats. But I did not.
Maybe. You'll never know.
We
Never know.
we chose the line where everybody's just fighting and stabbing each other.
That looks like a good one.
So if that's the most commotion, we can sneak through that the easiest.
You guys,
You make it to Agonist and you're like, what the heck? Like, who would have
What
never
were they all
guessed?
fighting?
Who would have known?
There were no context clues at all.
I'll just leave you wondering.
I hope we have fans one day that create artwork of our characters and it's just like the worst crowd of just people fighting and killing each other and everybody's just in misery. And then on the far right, it's just like this nice prim and proper, you know,
The
red
line is
carpet, and it's
perfect.
just like everything's cordoned
choose
off and
that
no,
one.
no, really, you go ahead, I insist.
They're like having a
They-
tea party over there,
Yeah.
sharing their things, and it's like, let's choose that one.
And they're like, get up to the front. It's like, congratulations, here's your goodie bag. Have a great time in Elysian.
As the god is like teleporting to different spots, he's like slowly looking nicer and nicer. And like at the good side, he like looks just like a fancy butler,
Yeah.
like a normal guy, like a wonderful guy to be around. And then he comes over here and he looks like some like demon from like the Nine Hells.
Like that one.
We're
One.
like, that's the one we
That
want.
You know what? You know
I'm
what
like,
I
we'll
also
take
realized?
any boat.
It would have been just as easy to go to the far right one as it would have been to go to the far left one. Or did
Well,
we choose the far
Except for
right?
No,
because
he
he was
was
moving
poofing.
closer to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would have been trickier because in here he was moving away from us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Which is
here
why
he
you
would be
chose
moving
it.
towards us.
Which is why you chose the very left, is because you noticed
Yeah.
the pattern. He was just going down the line.
Yeah.
So,
And we didn't look at the people.
And I didn't even honestly think. I just thought they all went to the same place.
Yeah. And the underworld has been nothing like I thought it was going to be at all.
100%.
I didn't think it was going to be connected to each other. I thought it was all going to be separate.
Same.
Like how the 9 hells are essentially.
Me too. Me too.
I thought it was,
Same.
yeah.
Interesting.
It's been better than I expected it to be. Much
How
better.
so?
I thought it was going to be more just set in stone. I thought it was going to be very...
If you're here, you're here.
Yeah, not orderly's not the right word. But I just didn't think that there would be so much. I thought the underworld was the end of free will, essentially. And that there's nothing that you just ended up where you were, and it was just either suffering or
It was just final.
happiness. Yeah, that there was no
Progression.
yeah, no progression.
Personality.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which has been really cool to see both sides of it.
But it is kind of cool that the people that are actually dead, they don't know that they can go to different underworlds.
I wonder if they even can, though.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they have to because Phaenax. Right?
You're right.
They
'Cause
probably just
he was dead.
don't.
And was he dead and escaped?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
He was the first. Yep. He was the first dead person to.
Weird.
I wonder if
So.
you have to just go through how Proteus is going through his development or whatever. If he could see it fully, get past the stage that he's in, that's why he's in Nerino, because he's lost in his thoughts, right? He never knows. But if he could just get past that a little bit, maybe he could do exactly what we're doing. You know what I mean?
move up.
Yes. But
Would-
they're also
so-
stuck in this frame of mind
And
that they think that they can't do it, or only one person's ever done it.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder if a lot of that comes from the belief that the gods are on that pedestal. That it's what difference can I make? This is where I am. I'm stuck here, almost like a self-imposed prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a prison where the door is unlocked, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
think it is.
But you are racked with your own judgment on yourself. That it's this is it. Basically, how Proteus is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying that we probably could have taken Baxter with us.
Sorry, Backdoor.
I don't know.
But he kind of helped us escape.
I know. I don't.
So
I
he's
don't
got to know. Right?
I mean, I could tell
There-
him. There's got to be
Send me.
limitations to it, though.
So
Yeah.
that you have already found the answer in your adventure so far, which
Sorry,
came
you
in the
keep cutting
form
out.
He said we have already
You-
found the answer to that question.
Oh,
in your
okay.
adventure so far, which came in the form of your fight with
With who?
the giant undead guardian that was walking around the border of Agana.
I'm how did that answer a question?
And you had a conversation with Care as well.
I'm gonna have to go listen to those episodes.
I was gonna say.
Yes.
It's
I'll
I
look
don't
it
remember
back.
any of this.
Go listen back. Go listen
Someone
back.
in the comments, write down in the
Yeah.
comments what Jefferson's
Hey.
talking about.
Listen, it's
Don't tell us.
I'm just saying the answer to what you guys are hypothesizing is found in that. And I will say that it's not impossible to traverse through the underworld like you are doing. However, there are things in place.
Basically, like hunters looking for people
I
that
don't
are
know.
trying to.
You gotta go back. You gotta go back and listen. So yeah, commenters, if you find the spot, put it down there if you know what I'm talking about.
You can just
The
put
answer
the
is there.
episode with a timestamp, and we'll go back.
I can think of probably 3 people right now that are just like, do you guys even listen to what he's saying?
Hey, if you go back and look at the comments, remember when we argued about what you had to go through the wall to
Wait, you're cutting
the
out.
wall.
Pretty
Is
sure
this better?
something about the wall.
Okay. Remember when you were saying that I had said that there was a hole in the wall that, and I was like, I never said that. Baxter never. Well, the commenters went back and they confirmed that that Baxter never said there was a hole.
Oh.
Really?
Baxter just said that the wall would lead you out.
Huh.
I'm
Mhm.
calling a Mandela effect
No.
because I fully believe
I
that you
remember
said
that.
that there was a
Jefferson
hole in the
works for
wall.
the
Dude, I
government.
swear, where
Hey,
did I
no,
get
no.
the holes from then?
No, listen. I said that because you guys were investigating through the wall, and I said, yeah.
You're cutting out.
he-
Try moving your mic closer to you.
I can read your lips really well, so I can
Oh yeah,
still hear you.
I was gonna say I
but-
can read your lips, but if you're listening on podcast,
So-
you had no idea.
So, I had said after you found the wall that because you guys were curious on what was on the other side,
Uh-huh.
and I said, well, it's made of broken up pieces, so you could find a hole.
Oh.
And when you did, I said it looks like Agonize. That's all I said about the hole of
That's
the wall.
probably where I got the hole from.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so then for like an episode, you guys were like, we have to find.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess.
You're like,
What
wow.
freaking hole are they talking about?
I'm like, sure, you can find a hole in the
Oh.
wall and walk through.
Oh.
Great.
Well, and
Nobody
then-
said anything about a freaking hole.
Well, and then when you
Well,
were,
and then I was gaslighting myself, and I was like, did I say that there was a hole?
and then I was like,
I'm
I
almost
thought you
positive I
did.
did it.
That's so.
Yeah,
We
and
do
you
that
guys
more often where
doubled
we just
down.
gaslight Jefferson into saying that he said stuff so that way we can have our way.
That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
There's a
If
hole
it
in the
weren't
wall,
for
you just
the
walk right
stinking
through.
commenters and writing us straight, we would have been able to get away with it too.
That's right.
You reptilians.
So let's see if I'm vindicated yet again. Commenters, what episode is the answer to the question of whether or not things can move?
I'm sure they'll find it because I guarantee you that the people who watch this know more about it
Than we do.
than
Yeah.
we do.
He's probably
Even in the
100%
DM,
correct.
sometimes I'm like, wait,
I
what?
like that though. It keeps us from being too meta.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
that's
kid
fair.
you not. I'll be like talking to Connor before we start recording. I'm like, what did we do last time? And then he'll say like one thing and I'll be like, oh yeah, this and this and this and this. But at first I'm like, where were we? And I'll be like 2 fights back in my head.
Yeah, I do it too.
It's real. It's real.
So, shout out to you all.
Yeah,
Write down
you know
the
who you are.
comments.
You're the best.
You know who you are.
And if you don't know who you are, then be a better person and be the person you know that you can
Yep.
be.
Figure it out. If you don't know who you are, figure it out.
If you don't know
Yeah, we're
who
talking to
are,
you.
You might never know,
You know
so
who you
figure it
are.
out.
Okay.
Go from never know to never knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never knew
Vasilis.
how much you never.
Know yourself.
much-
You never know.
You never
No,
know.
you never know how much you never knew
There you go.
Now you know.
until you never know.
I'm gonna get that like for my license plate. Never know. Nobody's
know.
gonna get it.
No one's gonna
No. Except the one guy that's like, that's my thing. That's what I
and then
did.
and then I'll put a sticker underneath that says, "If you know, you know."
get it.
Never know. Hashtag if you know, you know.
Yeah.
It's great.
You never have to ask if you know.
There you go.
Vasilis, has the underworld been what you've expected?
No. No, I was thinking on more on the lines of with Connor, how it'd be more kind of like Dante's Inferno, kind of like the levels, I didn't think it would all be like just one place, just a big open map that we'd have to traverse, which I like. It's cool.
Which
I
is
think it's
more
a very
definitely
cool
did-
take
yeah.
on it.
more Greek and Roman, and even like kind of those older things. It was more of a plainer thing.
Hmm.
It's like you've done your homework, Tyson, and given me good notes.
Well, no, it's the guys who wrote the book. They knew what they were doing.
The book never specifies how it's laid out. It just gives you the different area.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, someone
No.
read Percy
This
Jackson
layout is
or
original.
something.
I have read Percy Jackson, yes.
Stop
Yeah.
being coy, Tyson. We know you put this together.
I've got like, little do you know, this is actually, the green screen is actually like covering up all of my maps and things that I've created for
He's
Theros.
got
Just a giant white
It's
hole.
like
The
always
notes and-
sunny, like always sunny in Philadelphia, like the red strings
Yeah.
connect everything.
That's what's behind this. Like, yeah, 100%.
Newspaper clippings, whiteboard drawing, lines being drawn all
Your
over
wife
the
is
place.
like, oh no, we don't go in that room.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Jesus,
actually
that-
in like a very small closet that's just filled to the brim.
That's Tyson's special room. Some people refer to it as his crazy room, but I don't like to put labels on it.
It's like, oh, what's that movie? Beautiful Mind. You just a beautiful mind everywhere, everything.
Yep.
It's your little secret hideout.
Yep. That's what it is.
Oh.
Now you all know. If you would like to help me escape this room, you need to like and comment. Because Jefferson does
Please.
not let me leave
Definitely
unless
turn
we
on
hit a certain quota.
notifications.
He needs to see his family.
This is all jokes.
Like-
Tyson is not being held captive.
Like, comment, subscribe, and I might let him out. Isn't that right, Tyson?
Yes. Oh man.
Oh, yeah,
that's-
all in good
that's
fun.
one way
All
to
a
end.
joke. That is what a way to end. Holy cow. Put down in the comments what your favorite part of the last few episodes and what you think might happen in the future. What lies ahead of our Heroes of Theros.
Oh
And
yeah.
possibly what that's I guess what's the next one next question. Where do you guys think the next area you're gonna get to is after Narano?
Ooh.
Well, what's the next one up? I have it in my notes
I
somewhere.
want to say it so bad.
I know, right? That's why I just went like this time.
Oh,
Why do you guys know?
No,
No,
but if
you never know.
I guess we'll never know.
I guess we'll never know. And with that, thanks for joining us. As always, be sure to like and subscribe and hit to keep updated on all of our new releases. Please don't forget to check out Curse of Strahd, our first season. Our pretty
Yeah,
faces. Mosey on
All
over
right.
We're
to
gonna have to either redo that,
PG-DND.
Jeff, or...
Jump back 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Why?
Because it
No.
just cuts out. It's just silent.
Ah. Do you think it's my mic?
I don't
I
know.
think it's the
I'll turn
internet
it up.
connection.
Pull it,
maybe.
pull it
The
close
game.
to your face. Yeah.
Make sure.
Thanks for joining us. As always, like and subscribe. Hit that note.
No, I don't know what it is.
I think it's
This is your
internet.
captain speaking, or here reporting some technical difficulties here, and we'll be back to you shortly. If you just stay seated, we'll get to you with your trays in the upright position.
You're way too clear.
Thank you
It's
for
more
joining
muffly.
PG-DND.
This is Captain speaking. This point of
That's
guiding
better.
as a people. The skies are clear. It is mid-morning.
And get the heavy breathing in there.
There's nothing but clear skies ahead. We're cruising at an altitude of sea level. And
It's so good because it keeps cutting out.
Yeah.
I'm not
Great.
editing this out, by the way.
No,
no.
you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You really shouldn't.
This is why
Hey.
we have an after show, because it's perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Go check out Curse of Strahd. Season 1. It's the first time we did the YouTube thing, so check us out. And if you've been joining us on podcasts, on exclusively podcasts, gosh, I can't talk now. Now it's not even cutting out. Come check us out on YouTube. And don't forget that Theros Season 1, 55 episodes that led the Heroes of Theros to this point is
Have to watch.
anywhere, have to listen to it, anywhere podcasts can be found. And as always, we love you.
We love you. Goodbye.
Zane's thing does hearts, it's cute.
Bye-bye.